世界的尽头。灾难的巅峰。战场上的勇士。耶稣快再来，你预备好了吗？预备迎接末世。
A special welcome to all Angel TV viewers who are watching this program.
我们欢迎所有收看安琪 TV 的观众朋友们和弟兄姐妹们。
This program is called Prepared to Meet the End Times.
这个节目的名称叫做预备迎接末世。
Its purpose is to make us aware and prepare for the end times.
这个节目的目的是让我们醒觉，而且做好预备来遇见这个将要来到的末世。
The topic that we have been speaking on is marriage for men.
我们这个系列的题目是有关男士的婚姻。
We were discussing 10 ways how husbands damage the spirit of their marriage.
我们在讨论男士破坏婚姻的10种方式。
Point number 6, failing to recognize and praise attempts by the wife to please you.
第6个失败的原因是做丈夫的没有肯定妻子取悦丈夫的一些行动。
A wife has a basic need for praise, just as a husband has a basic need for admiration.
做丈夫的期待妻子对他的仰慕，做妻子的期待丈夫对他的肯定和赞美。
Women also tend to be more alert to and concerned for details.
女人通常比较对于细节更加的在意和注重。
In putting these two together, many wives will put special time, thought, and effort into little surprises for their husbands.
我们把这2个特点加在一起的时候，我们就发现到很多做妻子的，他们会花时间、花心思甚至费力气的来希望能够为丈夫能够找到一个小小的意外的惊喜。
If a wife makes a special meal, decorates the room, or finishes a job that her husband has wanted her to do,
当一个妻子她特地的为丈夫预备一个丰盛的美食，或者为房间做了特别的布置，或者甚至完成她丈夫期待她完成的一份工作的时候，
and the husband does not even recognize it or express appreciation for her efforts, she will be deeply disappointed.
而做丈夫的却没有注意到，忽略了，甚至也没有对她的努力做出欣赏的肯定的话，他会觉得很深的这种失落感和失望。
When a husband is insensitive to the special things his wife does to please him,
当一个做丈夫的对于妻子想要取悦于他的行动没有这种敏感的话，
she seeks admiration and praise from others, loses creativity, and looks for interest outside the home.
他就会去寻求别人的赞赏和肯定，他会失去他的这个创意性，甚至会在家庭之外去寻找他的兴趣。
I want to encourage all men to be sensitive to your wives.
我要鼓励所有做丈夫的，要对你的妻子的需要保持一种敏感度。
The 7th point, attempting to correct your wife in public.
第7点，在公众的场合指出你妻子的错误。
There may be many little or big things which a husband would like to correct in his wife.
一个做丈夫的，也许对妻子 有些无论是小事或者大事，想要纠正他们。
The worst possible way to go about it in correcting her is in the presence of others.
最糟糕的方式就是在别人的面前或者在公开的场合来纠正他的错误。
Especially in the presence of family members like sisters, mothers, uncles.
特别就是在家庭成员都在场的情况之下，比如说他的母亲或者他的兄弟姐妹们在场的时候，来纠正他的错误。
There is a time and a place for discussing changes in attitudes, languages, mannerism, conducts, money management, or a host of other topics.
应该寻找更恰当的地点和时间，来跟妻子讨论他的态度的改变，或者语言方面，或者他的礼节，甚至于品格，还有金钱的管理，以及其他重要的题目。
When this correction is done in public, it does not correct the problem.
当在公开的场合来做这些纠正的时候，这个反而会得到一个反效果。
Instead, it often destroys communication in the marriage.
而且经常会对婚姻之间彼此的交流产生破坏。
It is also unwise for the husband to complain about his wife to his parents.
做丈夫的向自己的父母亲抱怨自己的妻子，更是一个不智慧的行动。
The parents can easily take up an offense, which will be very hard to resolve.
自己的父母亲很可能就会采取在自己的立场上面采取行动，反而会带来无可救药的破坏性的关系。
When a husband uses jokes or cutting remarks to emphasize something that he has been trying to change in his wife,
当一个妻子犯错的时候，做丈夫的想要用一些讽刺性的话语来强调妻子所犯的过错的话，
the wife will experience a new damage to her self-worth, and she will desire to publicly retaliate.
做妻子的将会受到觉得更新的伤害，而且她就会想要在公开的场合做反击。
Point number 8, rejecting her opinion as unimportant.
第8点，拒绝她的建议，认为她的建议是不重要的。
Many men have made disastrous decisions because they failed to listen to the warnings of their wives.
很多做丈夫的，他们陷入到灾难性的这种错误当中，是因为他们没有听从做妻子所提出来的警告。
Pilate's wife tried to warn him not to kill Jesus because he was a righteous man.
圣经中的比拉多，他的妻子曾经警告他不要杀害耶稣，因为他是一个义人。
We see that in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 27 verse 19. We're not going to read it now.
这个故事我们可以从马太福音第27章第19节这一节经文里面看到。
God can work through failure as he did in this situation, but there is always a price to pay.
神可以使用人的失败来运作一些事情，但是失败的人必须要为此而付出代价。
What most men fail to realize is that God will often give a wife special insight that he will not give to her husband.
很多做丈夫的无法理解的就是神通常会给做妻子的一些特别的洞见，是神没有给做丈夫的。
If a husband makes a decision contrary to his wife's caution, he will usually pay the unnecessary consequence for a wrong decision.
做丈夫的如果做了一个决定是违反了妻子她的出于谨慎的一些洞见的话，那么经常会导致一个灾难性的结果。
So men, before you make a major business decision, explain the details to your wife.
因此，做丈夫的，当你要在商业上面做一个重要的决策的时候，尝试向你的妻子解释这些运作的细节。
Even if she is unable to understand the business factors,
尽管她也许不能够理解整个商业的过程，
she may have major caution about the people involved or the timing of the decision.
但是也许她会对所参与的人或者这个做生意决策的时机有一些特别的洞见。
It is not wise to move ahead unless there is oneness of spirit in the marriage.
除非夫妻之间能够取得一致的看见，要不然是一个贸然的去做一个决定。
A husband loses twice when he refuses to listen to the cautions of his wife.
如果做丈夫的忽略妻子所提出来的意见的话，那么这个丈夫可能的损失是双倍的。
First, he receives the consequences of a wrong decision.
首先，因着他错误的决定所导致的后果，他必须要承担。
Second, he damages the spirit of his marriage.
第二，他也破坏了他们的婚姻关系。
When a husband looks at his wife's opinion only from his perspective rather than from her frame of reference, she is hurt and hindered from sharing any further cautions.
当一个做丈夫的从自己的立场和角度来评估妻子所提出来的建议的时候，他其实就是在伤害他的感觉，而且甚至拦阻了他将来继续的给他提出好的意见来。
Point number 9, disciplining the children in anger or inconsistently.
第9点，在怒气当中教导孩子，或者没有一个持续恒久的标准来对待孩子。
God gives precise instructions to fathers as to how they should discipline their children.
神提供做丈夫的，让他们知道如何的来管教自己的孩子。
When these instructions are violated or neglected, the mother reacts and the children rebel.
当做丈夫的没有按照神的标准来去管教自己的儿女的时候，做母亲的会反应，而且做孩子的会反叛。
In the book of Proverbs, God divides and defines the discipline responsibilities of the father and the mother.
在箴言书当中，神分别做父亲的和做母亲的，他们各自的责任。
The father is to give the basic direction or command.
做父亲的必须提供这个指导跟方向。
The mother is to translate the commandment into steps of action for the children.
而做母亲的就需要把这些指导化成步骤来执行。
Proverbs 6 verse 20 says, My son, keep your father's command, and do not forsake the law of your mother.
箴言书6章20节说：“我儿要谨守你父亲的诫命，不可离弃你母亲的法则。”
The rules of the mother should clarify and illuminate the directions of the father.
做母亲的必须按照做父亲所提供的指示，来按照孩子们可以接受的步骤来提供引导。
For example, If the father says, I want the children to keep their rooms clean, the mother would then explain how to do it, like put your clothes here and your toys there.
我们举个例子说，如果做父亲的说，我要孩子们把房间弄得干净，那么母亲就会去解释给孩子们听，说如何的把衣服放在这个地方，把玩具放在另外一个地方。
When a father tries to give direction and rules to his children, his wife will often react to his insensitivity.
当一个做父亲的想要给孩子指出方向跟做指导的时候，他的妻子通常就会弥补他不够敏感的地方，来做出更明确的指示。
When a father gives a command and then fails to reinforce the corresponding rules that his wife gives to carry out the command, then she will feel betrayed and blame him if the children rebel.
当一个做父亲的给孩子们做出指示和命令的时候，而却没有坚持他的要求的话，那么做妻子的就会当孩子们悖逆的时候、反叛的时候，妻子会感受到被出卖的感觉。
Point number 10, refusing to acknowledge failure and to ask forgiveness to those who were offended.
第10点，当得罪人或者伤害人的时候，却没有适当的道歉或者寻求和睦。
The two most often repeated complaints against husbands and fathers are that they lose their temper and that they rarely admit when they are wrong.
做丈夫和做父亲的，他们最常犯的2个错误就是他们经常没办法控制自己的脾气，而且甚至在犯错之后从来不认错。
The wife and children learn from the examples of the husband and father in the home.
做妻子的和孩子们通常会从一个丈夫或父亲的身上学习他们的榜样。
His humility and his sincerity will greatly influence their response towards him, towards each other, and most of all, towards God.
他们的态度是否谦虚、诚恳，将会很大的成分上面会影响到做妻子和孩子们对于这个做父亲和丈夫的态度，而且他们影响之间彼此的关系，甚至影响他们对神的关系。
Let us turn to the book of Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4, and it says, And you, fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord.
以弗所书第6章第4节，你们做父亲的，不要惹儿女的气，只要照着主的教训和警戒养育他们。
When a father does not admit his failures and ask forgiveness for them, his wife and children react to his pride and lose respect for him.
当一个做父亲的不能够承认他自己的错误，而寻求他们的饶恕的话，那么做妻子的和孩子将会对他的这个骄傲而失去了对他的尊重。
I want to encourage all the men watching this program.
我要鼓励所有收看这个节目的男士们。
I too admit that in the beginning of my marriage, I could not handle anger in my life.
我也承认，在我刚结婚的时候，经常无法控制自己的怒气。
Worst of all, I used to justify myself why I did it.
更糟糕的就是我经常去解释自己的这些反应。
Rather than acknowledging that I did something wrong.
而不是向妻子承认自己犯了这些错误。
There was a time in my life where I had to ask my children, my son and my daughter, to forgive me for all the incorrect actions I did upon them.
我曾经对我的孩子们承认，我对他们的态度跟行动冒犯了他们，我承认我的错误。
I also had to ask my wife for forgiveness for being insensitive to her needs.
我也曾经向我的妻子承认，我对她的需要没有足够的敏感度，而请求她的宽恕。
Men, if we sow good seeds, we will reap the harvest of it.
男士们，如果我们撒的是好种，我们将会有好的收成。
If we sow bad seeds, then we will reap a broken marriage.
如果我们撒的是坏的种子，那么我们的婚姻将会是一个破碎的婚姻。
My love and my respect for my wife today is greater than when I first met her.
我们婚姻到现在呢，我对我的妻子有更深的爱，而且是更大的尊重。
All because I decided to follow the advice of the Word of God.
这一切是因为我决定要跟随神的话语的指示去行。
It brought respect and unity in my children's life and also in my wife's life.
这一切带来就是在我的妻子和我的孩子们的身上，和我们的家庭带来合一，而且互相的尊重。
I want to end this session with a prayer, so let's just close our eyes and bow our heads.
在我们结束之前，我想要带领大家做一个祷告，请你闭上眼睛。
Father, I just want to bring to you all the men who are watching this program.
天父，我要把所有收看这个节目的男士们带到你的面前来。
Just as you have given me the grace to understand and obey your word,
就如你如何的施恩，让我能够明白主你的话语，而且遵行你的话语。
I pray that you will also release your grace upon the men watching this program.
同样的，我也祈求你施恩在所有收看这节目的男士们身上，
Give them a clear guidance through your word.
给他们清楚的指引，按照你的话语来指引他们，
And help them to put it into practice.
帮助他们能够照你的话语行出来。
I ask this in Jesus' mighty name.
我靠着耶稣基督大能的名来祷告。
We have come to the end of this program, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next session. God bless you all. Amen.
我们今天的节目到了尾声，我期待下一周同样的时间能够跟大家再会，愿神赐福于你们，阿们。